Florida, Democratic Senator Adam Schiff, who sits on the Senate Judiciary Committee, also former chairman of the House Intelligence Committee, as our viewers well know. So, Senator, all right, here we are. In this, it is an extraordinary moment. And you just heard President Trump saying this is all a witch hunt. And he does appear to be referring to signals sometimes as like some sort of a conference call. It's a bit unclear. What do you say to him?
Well, President Truman was the buck stops here. Donald Trump is the buck stops anywhere but anywhere near me. That effort at deflection, I really don't know. I wasn't involved. He's now claiming Hegseth wasn't involved. It is really pathetic, but what it tells all of us, what it tells the national security professionals, what it tells people in the Pentagon, what it tells the American people is there will be no accountability in his administration. He isn't going to hold people responsible. He doesn't want to fire people. He doesn't even want to talk about it. He wants to put this off as another witch hunt, another hoax, his kind of go-to deflection. But don't look at me. Whatever you do, America, I'm not responsible. That's just going to breed further mistakes. We can't have any confidence this is going to be rectified if all of those people on that chat are basically saying, there's nothing to see here. Okay, yeah, it should have been classified. They can't even admit that. Jim Himes properly read the very guidance that the intelligence community gives on a discussion exactly like this one. And the DOD guidance, although Tulsi Gabbard tried to deflect, is almost exactly the same. This was heavily classified, or it should have been, and there's no escaping that.
Well, and of course, there's no escaping that phones that were on this are compromised phones, that this didn't go through any sort of protocol. I'm also curious, Senator, what you make of, there are a lot of people in this chat who should not have been there, okay? Lots of them. I mean, you don't have a conversation with staffers and people at the top with operational security attack plans. It's not something the U.S. government does, at least until now when we see this. But the vice president would not be in this chat. The head of the CIA would not see a strike plan package, right? This would not happen. But in all the people that were in there, there's one thing that I noticed is not there. The head of the Joint Chiefs. Right? So they're putting all this information out, but not to the operational military guy?
It is very bizarre how they chose the people on this chat. It was almost as if Walz wanted to sort of brag to this crowd of people what was going on with this operation. But you're absolutely right. There were a whole lot of people with no need to know. It is, yet another element of why this was so poorly handled, and that is, they shouldn't have been talking about this on Signal. It should have been highly classified. They should have had nowhere near the participants in this conversation, even in a classified space. And then to essentially deny or try to denigrate the seriousness of this means that they're not going to address it. It is the sign of both the inexperience and incompetence of a lot of these people. Hegseth way out of his depth. He passed by a single vote. That vote was J.D. Vance in the Senate coming in to break the tie. That has not aged well. But more than that, I look at someone like Ratcliffe, who does have at least some modicum of experience, and nowhere in the chat does he say, hey, people, we shouldn't be talking about this on a commercial app. Tulsi Gabbard had no experience. She has no business being there either. But for Ratcliffe, it was even more inexcusable because he knows better than this. But none of them are willing to really contradict the misuse of power. They really seem like they're drunk with power, and there's a kind of arrogance about what we witness in this chat. Arrogance towards our allies, arrogance towards national security protocols that should be followed, just incompetence and arrogance, which is a dangerous mix for the country.
A dangerous mix in any setting, and certainly at the top of the U.S. government. Thank you very much, Senator.